Hey everybody, welcome to my latest episode. I've got morning conversations while you sit on the commode. So smile a big smile, kick back with coffee, enjoy conversation with the peach. She's just a little frosty. She's just a little frosty.
So we're going to dig into the psychology of our brain. Our emotional baggage that traps our emotions and how it affects us. So how we perceive ourselves, how we react to stress, our own physical as well as emotional well-being, our relationship with other people. All of this matters. All of these things are combined. Everything, it's all about the brain, folks. I've said it many, many times. It's all about how we process our emotions. And when we have a breakthrough, how that just can change everything. You know, I've heard of people, and I've kind of had this happen to myself before, but have you ever had anybody talk about going to yoga and they cry? Or they get really, really sick and maybe they throw up? I got really, really sick at yoga once. And I thought it was the strangest things. And you know, we've got all this bottled up energy that has been pinned up for so long that we may not even known about. And things like yoga that kind of allow us to reset, to relax a little bit and let go, exposes that. And it's pushing that toxicity out of your body. The subconscious associates some specific areas of the body with memory. And these areas actually vibrate on specific frequencies. Now, I don't know if you've heard about this before. I'm going to have a whole lot more about this in the bio and in the description. This isn't like just new age spiritual stuff. This is for real, folks. Our brains have frequencies and they vibrate on specific frequencies. Bradley Nelson writes about 3 things that happen when emotions are experienced. And before we get into those, I want to talk a little bit about the process. So we constantly take in information. Our brain pulls this information in. It's like a computer. I've said this before, garbage in, garbage out. If anybody knows tech talk, they know what I'm talking about. When we take in information, it generates your pre-conscious autonomic nervous system. Now, I don't know if you guys remember hearing about this when you were in high school. Some folks study this and understand this, but this sends a signal to the body, activating a corresponding emotion. And this is where it gets really interesting. So, okay, let's walk through this again. We take in information. The information's got to get processed. It's going through our autonomic nervous system, right? So once we do that, now the brain says, okay, we're going to react to this. How are we going to react to this? We're going to react on this based on what we already know, based on our survival skills, based on the feelings we had in the past. Or it's going to react on something new. You know, if you're going through therapy, you've already started building those new neural pathways through plasticity. So you're already starting to see that change. Your brain is already shifting and it's already starting to react differently. So, in other words, your feeling comes from what your nervous system is telling you. So you may have guessed by now that feeling may not actually be produced in reality, just like we talked about. Remember the example of someone hurting our feelings? You know, when we're people pleasing and then the house being on fire and our brain doesn't know the difference? Well, folks, this is where the rubber meets the road here. Because your brain is remembering all those old feelings and it's processing them the same way because it doesn't know any different. We develop emotional vibration. We feel emotion along with any thoughts or physical sensations associated with it. This is the mind-body interconnectedness that I like to talk about. And this is getting back to what Bradley Nelson was saying. We move away from our emotions by processing them. So we take the information in, it gets processed. Now I'm saying this in very simple terms here. We process our feelings. We generate our feelings. And then we process those feelings and emotions. Now, here's the problem. A lot of times, this process can get interrupted for any number of reasons. And if you have trauma, it's really getting interrupted. The emotional processing occurs in the limbic system of the brain. And the emotion becomes trapped in the body. This is known as a block. You've heard people talk about emotional blocks and things like that. And blocks aren't just some little emotional thing. They actually can affect you physically. I'm really interested in this, and I have put several links into the bio today and into the description, talking about how certain kinds of emotions get trapped in our body and affect certain areas of our body, like our chest, even our legs. Every part of our body can hold tension. So our true self wants to express something, but our false self doesn't want us to express it. Now, in psychology, the true self is the self that is curious, it is open to new things, it is trusting. It's like when we're children and, you know, we're in awe of the world around us and we want to learn everything and we want to see and do everything. And then, you know, we become adults and we get jaded and we don't trust people because we've had experiences where we've been hurt, where we've experienced pain and loss in our lives. And when we experience that pain and loss, a set of adaptive strategies emerge from our brain to deal with these. These negative emotional energies get trapped, and we create all these coping mechanisms. Some of them can be healthy. Many of them are not. Many of them are very unhealthy. And we all know about that. You know, that's where a lot of our addiction comes from. And any kind of unhealthy behaviors that we have. So when these negative emotional energies are trapped, we can actually become repressed. I know you've heard that word. Repressed feelings can cause bad decisions, self-sabotage, overreactions, all the stuff I've talked about before. increased stress and anxiety, depression, and fatigue. And we feel these physically, not just mentally. It starts in our brains, but over time, that negative energy that's trapped in our body has caused all this tension, and it can make you sick. And I believe that's where a lot of our problems come from, a lot of our sicknesses, because stress will kill you, folks. It'll kill you. You've got to learn how to manage your stress. You've got to learn how to do that. And it's hard. Everybody has experienced some kind of trauma in their life. I think it's like almost 90%, and I will link that in the bio, of people experience some kind of trauma in their life, because we all experience life. Death, losing a job, losing someone that we love, breaking up, moving away, all of these big life events that cause stressors in our life, that cause trauma, happen because we're human, and we have to deal with it. We have to learn to acknowledge and release these repressed emotions. So I'm gonna get me another little sip here, and we're gonna reframe a little bit.
Enjoy conversation with the peach. She's just a little frosty.